Welcome to the second video on the PokeJ channel, Pokemon fans. I wasn't originally sure on what to make this video about, but I received permission from another YouTuber to make a reaction video to her channel, or to her videos. So that's what we're gonna do. I only watched the first 3 minutes just so I could have an idea as to what was going on with her video, and the rest I'm just gonna go with it as I watch the video, and we'll all be able to see it together. So I'd appreciate if you guys would subscribe to her channel, and also Pika, please subscribe to mine. Again, really appreciate the support, and let's go ahead and get into this video, see what it's about.
Hey guys, Chess here, and before you say anything, yes, this video was heavily inspired by Jaden Animation's Pokemon Nuzlocke videos. If you haven't seen those, go check them out, and subscribe to Jaden while you're at it. Her videos are amazing. Anyway, back to me. To those who don't know me, which is probably most of you, I'm a huge Pokemon nerd. I've been playing Pokemon since I was a little kid in like 2nd grade, but my game options were really limited since I only owned like 2. Once I was old enough to start buying my own games, I played them all out of order. I replayed old games whenever I got the itch of nostalgia, which was pretty often, and I would try the newer ones, but I rarely ever finished them. But then after watching a bunch of Pokemon challenge videos, I was like, you know, I need to play Pokemon with a purpose, something to drive me. And a challenge I've always wanted to do was, well, to play through every single generation of Pokemon in order, and to get into the Hall of Fame in all of them. See, I had a habit of constantly restarting my games when I was little. I guess I really liked the idea of just starting with a clean slate. So when I watched videos of PokeTubers explaining all their old childhood teams that they loved, I never had that, because I had about 100 different teams that rarely lasted past the 4th gym. So I decided to begin a journey through every single region, building up my ideal team for each game and getting them into the Hall of Fame. This wasn't a Nuzlocke or anything, these were just casual playthroughs. The challenge part is doing it 8 times back-to-back and animating the whole thing. I'm not an avid YouTuber or anything, and honestly I've never animated before, so I really had no way to capture my gameplay, so I just recorded all my progress by writing everything down in my handy-dandy Pokemon notebooks. But now, I think I'm ready to share my adventure with the world. So, here we go.
Okay, first, I'm going to go ahead and start out by saying I love the animation in this. This is really cool. I like how she's doing it. And I gotta be honest, I was sort of the same, sort of not, when it comes to my playthroughs. I typically, like right now, I'm on Let's Go Pikachu, and the team that I have right now, I'm on, I actually did it out of order, because I have the Celadon, the Saffron, and the Viridian gems to get to, and that's it. I did everything else already. I don't know why I did that way. Yeah, the team that I have now, it's basically the main 6 that I caught, that I didn't necessarily need to add to my party. They've just always been there and evolved. Yeah.
Game 1 was obviously Kanto. I chose to play Pokemon Blue for one real reason. Vulpix is only found in Pokemon Blue. At least in the first gen games, and Vulpix is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. I named myself Chess, obviously, and reminded Professor Oak that his grandson's name was Avery. Avery was a kid in my 4th grade class who stole all my Pokemon cards, allegedly, when I was dumb enough to bring them to school and try to show them off. So anyway, I woke up in Pallet Town. I go to tell my mom that I'm off to explore the world and become the champion. How does Pokemon government work anyway? Does the champion have a lot of political power? Well, anyway, my mom's all like, well, you are 10 years old. It's about time you move out and live on your own. It said so on TV. So, I left the house, and I'm about to step out into the grass when Professor Oak suddenly appears out of nowhere and is like, what the heck are you doing, kid? And drags me back to his lab. There, I meet the dreaded rival Avery, and the professor presents me with my first choice of the series.
Okay, I really like how she includes a real-life backstory in the game. That's really cool. Naming her rival after somebody that she can't stand because they allegedly stole her Pokemon cards. That's a really good way to use the rival. It gives you more incentive to beat the crap out of them in every battle.
My starter Pokemon. Now, whenever I played through Kanto as a kid, I always chose Bulbasaur. I decided I wanted to switch things up this time, and frankly, I'm sick of seeing Charizard everywhere at this point, so since I am playing Blue version, I went with Squirtle. Truth is, I have never had a Blastoise on my team. Ever. So, me and Squirtle, who I named Malawi, which is the name of a lake in Africa, I think, we began our very first battle against Avery and his Bulbasaur. We almost lost because Malawi missed a tackle, but Bulbasaur failed to growl, so we managed to win by the skin of our teeth, shells, whatever. We get Professor Oak his parcel, we get our Pokédex, and we begin our very first journey together.
Yo, so that's how I started too. I started back at the beginning when Red, Blue, Yellow first came out. The first one of the three that I played was Blue, and I started out with Squirtle. Blastoise ended up becoming my favorite, still is. I nicknamed it Shell Shock. Whatever reason, I don't know. I love this video that this girl's made. Okay, she's really cool so far. Sorry, guys.
Just outside Viridian City on Route 22, I began the hunt for a male Nidoran. While doing that, I catch a Rattata I named Kiba, the name of my pet rat in middle school, and also my first anime crush, and also a Spearow that I named Twinkie, the name of my childhood pet bird, I think. I don't know, I remember I was really young. I finally catch the Nidoran male and name him Marchie, the name of my pet bunny. I was reminiscing a lot about past pets at the time, apparently. But we've got a good team going now, so I make my way through Viridian City, where I accidentally get shown how to catch a Pokemon twice by the old cranky drunk man, because I was mashing A too quickly. On Route 2, I had some issues with a freaking Pidgey that just spammed Sand Attack, but while in Viridian Forest, I catch a Caterpie that I named Donut. Don't ask me why. I also found a Pikachu. I named him Pikaboy, and I stuck him in the box in the PC because I don't want to use him. Once we got to Pewter City, I challenged the gym leader Brock. I was still pretty underleveled, so during the battle I used Donut, who was now a Metapod, to continuously lower his Pokemon speed with String Shot. That way Malawi could hit them with Bubble first and take them out.
Yo, that's really smart. Using a Metapod with String Shot to reduce their speed to make sure that you're going first. Honestly, I don't think I ever really used Metapod, with the exception of just keeping him there to get him to evolve to Butterfree. Not bad, not bad.
Onyx's Bide actually made this very easy, and I got my first gym badge. One step closer to conquering the world. Oh, and also Donut evolved into Butterfree. Once outside the gym, I suddenly remembered the optional rival battle that was back on Route 22, so I rushed back to see if Avery was still there, but he must have gotten tired waiting there to ambush me and had already moved on. Oh well. I move on to Route 3 where I had to battle a super annoying Jigglypuff that didn't miss a single sing. The way sleep status effect worked in this game was horrid. But anyway, I made it to Mount Moon. Donut's confusion attack was super great to have here, so we were just confusing the crap out of everything in the cave until...
Zubat is the most annoying Pokemon to encounter in these caves. They are like the cockroach of an old apartment that you just can't get rid of. Not from personal experience.
We got to the bottom level, and I found a Clefairy. Little known fact, in most Kanto playthroughs, I try to catch a Jigglypuff as soon as possible, because, well, as a kid, I absolutely loved Jigglypuff. And I still do. But this time, I decided to switch it up again, and I caught the Clefairy to add to my team. I named it Puck, and we continued onward until we ran into that Team Rocket grunt that has Eradicate, and he proceeded to slaughter my entire team. After healing up and making our way back to him, we did manage to take out his Eradicate, but only after it hit 4 crits in a row. Jeez, dude, pick on someone your own level, stupid jerk.
Yo, that Eradicates in general are completely underrated. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't use them competitively, but in gameplay, Super Fang is really useful. We
finally limped our way out of Mount Moon, but the team was looking pretty good. Outside Cerulean City, I taught Puck Mega Punch, and I caught a Sandshrew. I named him Moss. I'm not sure why. I think I was just thinking about how Sandshrew with moss growing on its back would be cool.
That would be an interesting variant to see. I personally would love to see something like that, where we get more Pokemon that are affected by the climate from previous generations. That'd be pretty cool.
But anyway, I was kind of looking forward to having Eradicate on my team for once, but I need a good ground type, so I swapped Kiba with Moss. Sorry, buddy. On the Nugget Bridge above the city, my rival finally gets to jump me for a battle, but Puck Mega punched his Pidgeotto. His Abra wasn't even really worth mentioning, but his Rattata hyperfanged the crap out of Malawi. Guess that's what I get for kicking Kiba off the team. Donut managed to take out both his Rattata and his Bulbasaur, though. While battling the other trainers on the bridge, Malawi evolved into War Turtle, though, so that was cool. After helping Bill with his science fair project, I take on Misty at the Cerulean Gym. I currently have nothing super effective against water types, so I used Butterfree to poison her Staryu and switched in Marchie, who was now a Nidorino, to chip away at itself. When Starmie comes out, I use the same technique by poisoning with Donut, and then switching to Malawi to eventually kill it. I got my second badge, and Malawi now knows Bubble Beam. On Route 5, I find and catch a Bellsprout that I name Cactus. Again, I'm not sure why. I guess my thought process was Bellsprout is a plant, a cactus is also a plant, therefore Bellsprout is a cactus.
I can see it.
He joined the team while I left Twinkie the Sparrow at the daycare for a while. I also dropped Marchie the Nidorino off in the PC. I was looking forward to have Nidoking, but I had accidentally already taught the Dig TM I had previously stolen from the home invading Rocket Grunt to Moss. So I really didn't need two ground types. Anyway, with my current slightly altered team, I made my way to Vermilion City to board the SS Anne using the tickets Bill gave me. While battling the trainers just trying to relax in their cabins, Cactus evolved into Weepinbell, so that was nice. On my way to the captain's cabin, Avery attacks me again. Clefairy can now paralyze his Pidgeotto and Mega Punch it to death. She does the same thing to the Raticate. She also paralyzes the Kadabra, but Mega Punch gets disabled, so I switch to Malawi to finish it off, then switch to Donut to take care of the Ivysaur. Easy victory. I tell the captain, they're there, everything will be okay, and he gives me with the cut HM, which I use on Cactus. Then I head to the Vermilion City Gym, where Moss was able to evolve into a Sandshrew right before taking on Lieutenant Surge. He then proceeded to one-hit KO Surge's entire team with Dig. Oh, what a good spiky boy. Moving on. Back on my way to Route 9, I pick up Twinkie from the...
That looks like that would likely hurt.
daycare and evolve him into a Pharaoh. I also had a Moonstone on me, so I evolved Puck into a Clefable too. Outside Rock Tunnel, I caught a Voltorb I named Pokeball, and taught him Flash so that we could get through the cave. After his use was done, into the box he went. Outside of Lavender Town, I finally found my Vulpix. I named her Silna, and happily added her to the team. Unfortunately, that meant putting Donut into the PC, but we were at a point in the game where bug Pokemon just didn't have the stats to be useful anymore, and I had known Donut wouldn't be with us forever. Rest well, my beautiful butterfly.
Okay, this scene right here reminds me of Bye Bye Butterfree. That episode really hit hard, and I think it did for most of the fans. So, kudos to the girl for using this and making it seem like it's a little tribute to that episode.
Good work out there. I then go into the Pokemon Tower and interrupt Avery while he's paying his respects to the dead, and we battle again. But now my Clefable knows Thunderbolt and easily takes out the Pidgeotto and Gyarados. She also crits a Mega Punch on the Kadabra. Malawi kills his Growlithe, and Fearopect the Ivysaur to death. After getting kicked out by the pissed off Marowak Ghost, I go to Celadon City where I get a free Eevee by kinda just taking it off some guy's table. I then put it into the PC and went to battle Erica. I had a lot of confidence for this battle because I had Silna the Vulpix. But even after getting a crit Ember on her Victreebel, I saw it wasn't going to do nearly enough damage. I am also reminded how annoying Gen 1 Wrap is, so I switched to Twinkie the Pharaoh to peck the Victreebel and Vileplume to death.
So for those who don't know, in Generation 1, if the opponent Pokemon uses either Wrap or I think Fire Spin. I don't remember if Bind was in this or not, but you were taking damage every turn. You were not switching out. That's all there was to it. You're just taking chip damage every turn until it was gone. There was no way to get out of it, no way to choose Rapid Spin. It didn't exist, and even if it did, you didn't have the option to pick a move.
But then Fira loses a lot of HP to poison, so I switched back to Vulpix, who does manage to take out the Tangela with repeated embers. Finally, I got my rainbow badge. Next, I push a very inconspicuous switch in the casino and break into Team Rocket's hideout to beat them up. At the bottom, I find Giovanni, but a mob boss is no match against a future world conqueror, and Malawi the War Turtle takes out his entire team. After that, I bribe the guards outside Saffron City with some lemonade, and managed to get in. I challenged the Karate Master and found out I was actually way under-leveled for him, but Puck the Clefable actually carried my team to victory, and managed to take him out. As a reward, I steal his Hitmonlee and name him Nike. I then add him to the team in place of Twinkie. With Erica out of the way and Silna on the team, I really didn't need a flying type anymore. However, after that battle, I decided I am not ready for Sabrina yet. So, with the Sylph Scope in hand, I go back to the Pokemon Tower where I beat up the dead Marowak and save Mr. Fuji, who gives me the Pokeflute as a thank you. On my way to Fuchsia City, I wake up and battle the Snorlax, but after trying to catch it 3 separate times, I gave up and just killed it. I really don't need a Snorlax. I've already got my bulky tank. I get to Fuchsia City and try my hand at the Safari Zone. I catch a few good new Pokemon, including a Dratini I fished up from the pond. I named it Mithra, and I trek all the way back so I can drop it off at the daycare, where I promptly forgot about it. On my way back to Fuchsia City, I take the other route that leads me to the second Snorlax, which I also kill. But Silna leveled up to level 35 and learned Flamethrower, so I used a Firestone I bought literally a few feet away to evolve her into a beautiful Ninetales. Oh, she's so pretty. What a good doggy. While going down the bike path, Malawi also evolved, and I finally have my Blastoise for the very first time. Alright, buddy, you're pretty cool. Let's see how you fare for someone who's used to having a Venusaur. You've got some big shoes to fill, but I think you can do it. Once back in Fuchsia City, with a much more powerful team, I challenged Koga's Poison Gym. I sent out Moss first, and he one-hit KOs the Coughing, and the Muck, and the other Coughing, and while he's underground to hit the Weezing with Dig, the Weezing just decides it's not worth it and self-destructs, so that's another win for me. Moss, you were just slaughtering these guys. Good work. I get the TM for Toxic, and I teach it to Cactus. Then I make my way back to Saffron City to take out the Team Rocket thugs hanging out at Silphco. While I'm in there, Avery ambushes me again. I honestly have no idea why he's in here, but Moss uses Sand Attack on the Pidgeot and crits every single one of his slashes. Jeez, dude, save some glory for the rest of us. Puck thunderbolts the Gyarados, and Malawi kills both the Growlithe and the Alakazam. Last, Silna takes out the Venusaur with ease. After that victory, some guy gives us a free Lapras. Thanks, dude, but I won't be needing this. I've already got a giant turtle. At the top of the building, I find Giovanni again, and Moss once again takes out his entire team by himself. Just crit slashes and digs at every turn, an absolute massacre. What a good boy. As thanks for saving his company, the director guy gives us a Master Ball, and I finally feel ready to take on Sabrina. Because of how overpowered the Psychic type was in Gen 1, I was pretty nervous she'd brick wall me, but I had some good physical moves now, so I took a deep breath, stepped into her gym, and started the battle. First up was Puck versus Kadabra. It hits me with a Psychic, and Puck misses his Mega Punch. But then the idiot uses Recover while it still has full health, so we hit another Mega Punch and crit the poor thing. We also one-hit KO the Mr. Mime with Mega Punch too. When Venomoth came out, I sent out Ninetales, who not only did good damage with Flamethrower, but also left a burn. I planned to just let the Venomoth die to burn damage while I healed up Puck again, but Sabrina used a Hyper Potion, so I had to use up a few more Flamethrowers to finally knock it out. Last was Puck versus her Alakazam. It used Recover on full health again, so I'm able to get off the first hit. Its Psychic attack isn't able to take Puck out, so our second Mega Punch manages to kill him. Stupid Gen 1 AI, but hey, a win's a win. I get my badge and we move on. Outside the gym, I finally use my Leaf Stone on Cactus since I'm satisfied with his moveset, and I get my Victory Bell. My team is now fully evolved and looking pretty good. I head to Fuchsia City and start to try and surf to Cinnabar Island, but accidentally end up on the Seafoam Islands instead. I guess you can't surf to Cinnabar from here? At least I couldn't seem to find a way. I debated on if I should explore the caves here and catch the Articuno or not, but ultimately decided against it and just went back to Fuchsia, where I proceeded to walk all the way back to Pallet Town. I was too stubborn to go and get a flyer, I guess.
That's a long walk.
On my way back to Pallet Town, though, I was at least able to pick up the old Amber. So when I did finally manage to surf to Cinnabar Island, I revived both the Aerodactyl and the Kabuto from the fossil I had grabbed all the way back in Mount Moon. I also traded the Venonat for a Tangela. In the end, I decided to try and keep the Aerodactyl on my team and replace tonight the Hitmonlee that I never used. I've never used an Aerodactyl, so we'll see if he earns his place. I explore the burned building to find the key to Blaine's gym. I honestly don't know why he locked himself in and threw the key into this creepy basement, but while I'm in the building, some burglar attacked me with a Ninetales, so obviously I had to send out Silna and have them fight to the death, Pokemon the movie style. Silna totally won. After that, I break into Blaine's gym, pass all of his quizzes with my infinite Pokemon knowledge, and battle the Burn Heel Man himself. Malawi just drowned his entire team with ease. Alright, buddy, you're pretty cool. I like you. Once we got our Volcano badge, I took a good look at my team and decided I needed to cut out some useless fat. I had tried to train up the Aerodactyl, but he just wasn't doing it for me, so I took my handy-dandy Master Ball and made my way to the old power plant. Powered through all the Raichus, Magnetons, Electrodes, and Electabuzzes until I was face to face with the Thunderbird Pokemon himself, the mighty Zapdos. One Master Ball later, and I now had my ultimate team. Legendaries are totally legal in these run-throughs, by the way. I named the Zapdos Blitzkrieg, and with that, we fly back to Viridian City to take on the final gym leader. The very man whom my trusted Mossy Boy had already devastated twice before. I wasn't even worried as we entered Giovanni's gym and challenged him to his final face-off. But this time, I switched things up on him. I sent out Cactus to take care of him instead. He sent out his Rhyhorn, who Cactus quickly poisoned. We then set up several growths as we survived a barrage of stomps. Then, the Cactus Boy proceeds to Mega Drain every single one of Giovanni's Pokemon. After being slaughtered so many times by a 10-year-old, it's no surprise Giovanni gives up on Team Rocket after giving me my final badge. He saunters off, and I turn to Route 22 to head towards the Pokemon League. While on my way, Avery actually catches us by surprise. I had totally forgotten there was another battle on this route after the optional one, the one I accidentally skipped. But luckily, with Blitzkrieg on my team, his Pidgeot and Gyarados were no problem. Cactus took care of the Rhyhorn, and Malawi killed the Growlithe. We struggled a bit against the Alakazam because Puck missed a Mega Punch and actually went down to a Psybeam, but after breaking out of confusion, Malawi was able to kill it with strength. Last was Silna versus Venusaur, but I was actually surprised by how underleveled she was. I managed to take it out with 3 flamethrowers, but only because rival Avery was stupid and used a measly little potion, so that's another win for me. I finally reached Victory Road. We trained up here for a while after seeing how underleveled we were for the Venusaur. I also happened to catch the Moltres in a Pokeball, somehow. I wasn't really expecting that to work, so I just put him in the PC with the others.
Yo, that is incredibly lucky and very impressive.
After a few hours of grinding, I start to get impatient and just decide to try my luck with the Elite Four, even though I'm still underleveled. With 8 gym badges in hand and my team behind me, we step into the first room. The Elite Four in these games, for those who don't know, you have to battle 4 powerful Pokemon trainers in a row. If you lose to one of them, you have to start completely over again. The first one here was Lorelei, the Ice-type specialist. But most of her Ice types are also Water types, so Blitzkrieg was a perfect option to take them out. Her Dewgong just kept spamming Rest, so it got a little annoying, but Thunder eventually took it out. We also zapped the Cloyster and the Slowbro to death, but for Jinx I switched in Silna to take it out with a single flamethrower. Lapras was a little more difficult to deal with. I had to switch back to Zapdos, but Thundershock didn't do enough damage, and he went down to a Blizzard. I sent out Cactus to use Toxic Poison, but then he also went down to a Blizzard. Finally, Puck the Clefable comes out to stall, and it hits Mega Punches until Toxic finally kills it. Even after Lorelei uses her Super Potion. Our first victory. Our next opponent is Bruno. Blastoise takes out both his Onyxes with a single Surf, and then Blitzkrieg wipes out the Hitmonlee, the Hitmonchan, and the Machamp with Drill Pecks and Fly. Easy victory. I don't think I took any damage in that entire battle. Third up is Agatha, the Ghost-type leader. I send out Clefable and start hitting Psychics. It gets a little annoying as Gengar keeps putting Puck to sleep and I have to keep using the Pokeflute to wake it up. Puck's special stats are pretty low, so it takes multiple Psychics to take out the Gengars, Haunter, and Golbat. Plus, Agatha uses a total of 3 Super Potions and randomly switches her Pokemon in and out of battle. Finally, only Arbok is left, but Puck is out of Psychic PP, so I switch in Moss to Slash and dig the Arbok to death. I realized later that I should have probably just used Moss from the start, but oh well. Our next opponent is Lance, the Dragon Master. This battle starts poorly. It's Zapdos vs Gyarados. I hit a Thunderbolt, but don't quite kill it, and the Gyarados gets a crit Hyper Beam to knock out Blitzkrieg. And because the Hyper Beam killed my Pokemon, he doesn't need to take a turn to recharge.
Hold on, a couple things. One, how did that not one-hit KO Gyarados? 2, I never knew that if you KO in Gen 1 with a Hyper Beam, that next turn you don't have to recharge. Okay, that is OP as crap.
Stupid Gen 1 mechanics. I send out Blastoise, who eventually takes out the Gyarados, but a Dragonair comes out next. I hit a Blizzard, but it survives and hits me with another Hyper Beam. Malawi manages to hold on and gets off another Surf, but even that doesn't do the trick. Lance heals up his Dragonair, and another Hyper Beam takes Blastoise out. Moss the Sandslash is next, my old reliable friend. He crits a Slash to take out the Dragonair, and then the other Dragonair comes out, and Moss clutches a Hyper Beam while I heal up Malawi again, cause I know I'll need him and his Blizzard later. With Moss still on the field, I decide to continue to use him, so I use a Dig while the Dragonair is recharging, and manage to take it out as well. Way to go, Moss! Aerodactyl comes out, so I send out Blastoise again, and 2 Surfs does the trick. Last is Dragonite, so I send out Cactus to Toxic Poison it while I heal up Malawi again, thinking I'm going to be relying on his Blizzard, but his Dragonite just keeps using Agility over and over again. The AI sees the Psychic move and just thinks it'll be good against my Poison Grass type, totally unaware that his Psychic move does no damage, so Cactus just wins by himself. And that's our final Elite Four member defeated. Oh, Gen 1, you and your silly bugs and AI mechanics never change. At last, I make my way to the champion's seat where only one final person is standing in my way. The Pokemon card thief, Rival Avery. So with my team healed up and ready to go, we start our final battle. First up is Pidgeot as usual, but as usual, Blitzkrieg isn't afraid of him and easily wipes him off the face of the earth. Next up is Alakazam. I resort to Fly and Drill Peck, but the fool just keeps trying to use Recover, and he eventually goes down as well. Next up is Rhydon, but Malawi is able to take care of this easily. The Gyarados actually causes us a bit of trouble this time, mainly because I sent out Zapdos, only for him to miss 2 Thunders in a row and go down. Clefable had to buy time with Metronome for a while as I healed Blitzkrieg back up to eventually land a hit and take out the Gyarados. Next is Avery's Arcanine, but Moss is able to take it out fairly easily. And finally, Silna the Ninetales takes out the Venusaur with 2 flamethrowers. And just like that, it's over. I've won my final Kanto battle. Professor Oak shows up once the battle is done to scold Avery for being a dum-dum, then leads me back into the room to enter my team into the Hall of Fame. It was a really good team. Zapdos definitely was a good choice for my final member, but of all the battles, I think Moss holds the title for MVP.
Check out the sprites from Gen 1. They're really good. The creators did a great job on getting the characteristics of the Pokemon, even for such a, I guess, limited use of technology at the time.
I also enjoyed having a Blastoise on my team, and Malawi was a valuable addition. He and Puck both made pretty good tanks to buy time and clutch hits, and I loved how versatile Puck's moveset is. Cactus was great at stalling, and Silna was a lovely glass cannon. All in all, I enjoyed conquering Kanto. It was nice to feel nostalgic, but the mechanics and the AI in this game are just not great. It honestly got annoying most of the time, but as I sat in the champion spot and looked over the lovely land that is Kanto, I can see why Game Freak milks the crap out of it. I was able to explore the world and beat the gyms and bosses at my own pace and to my own liking, and honestly, that was nice. But now, on to conquer Johto. A newfound political power, I leave my trusty team in charge of running things here, and I take off to the next region.
Okay, that was really cool. I gotta admit, I was impressed. I really loved the animation, the work that she put in. One thing I never even noticed until watching this video. You get the fossil after the first gym leader, before the second gym leader, and you can't do anything with it until you get to Cinnabar Island toward the end of the game. Like, holy crap. I just realized that. You don't get to do anything with it for almost the entire game. So I guess the fossils are basically useless in a Gen 1 playthrough. Yeah. That was good. Brought back some memories. Like I said, I started out with red, blue, and yellow myself. Started out with blue, started with Squirtle. Ended up evolving into Blastoise. Became my favorite Pokemon, still is till today. The moveset was terrible that I used on it, but hey, it is what it is. I was a kid. The only thing I thought was, ooh, water Pokemon, water moves, let's do this. Nowadays, there's no way to do that. No, there's no way I'd recommend anybody doing that. Yeah, that was awesome. Like I said at the beginning, please subscribe to the channel. Pika, please. Make sure you like, comment, and share. And even Pikachu would like to have a few words about my channel. Greatly appreciate it.
Pika pika, pika pika, pika pika, pika.
You guys have a wonderful day. And I will see you on the next video, which we'll be talking about some Pokemon moves that, for whatever reason, aren't on some Pokemon and are on some Pokemon. That's going to be fun.